Nowadays, a lot of people are custom casting their own resin dice. The bad thing is that everybody's kind of stuck using the same pre-made molds. The next step in your evolution of resin casting dice is to create your own molds. And to do that, you need a Dicemaker, something that you could 3D print. I think the best way to make a Dicemaker is to use a program like Blender. This will let you do really cool things like this die that has like all sorts of designs and even a skull for the 20. But a lot of people aren't looking to do something this complicated, and Blender can be pretty difficult to learn, especially for people new to 3D modeling. I think a lot of people just want to put a logo on their dice, and that's it. Maybe change up the font. And for that, instead of using a program like Blender, we can use a program called Dicemaker. Dicemaker is free, and it is super easy for anybody to learn how to use. In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the steps and some of the features of Dicemaker so that you can make your own custom Dicemasters. These Dicemasters you'll be able to put together into an STL file so you can 3D print them, or even just sell the files on a website like Etsy. My name is Nash, and I make things for tabletop gaming, whether it be the games themselves or accessories like dice or dice towers or deck boxes. I make all sorts of things. If that's the sort of content that you like, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we can all craft together. Let's get to the tutorial. So when we're in the program, it kind of looks like your traditional 3D program. There's a plane here and nothing else. We're going to go over to add, and we are going to add a D20. Let's start with a D20. And here it has a pretty basic D20. Everything we need. Okay, this is pretty awesome. Let's do some more work to customize it to make it our own. So we can go up to the corner here where it says face templates. We click on that. And these are all the numbers and all the icons that we're using for the face. So if we want to change the font, we can do that really easily by loading a new font. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get a font, because it only comes with like this basic one that's kind of boring. I kind of want something metal, and this metal font looks pretty cool, so I downloaded it. I'm using 101 or 1001 fonts. Now when we open the file, and what we're going to see is that a lot of the fonts that we want to download off the internet are in a format called OTF, which is the Open Type Font. Unfortunately, this program, the Dicemaker program, only will take TTF, which is True Type Font. So we need to convert our Open Type font to a TTF. Here we go. ConvertGeo.com, choose files. Let's choose our Maya file, OTF, open. Let's convert it. And let's download that. So now we have the TTF. When we go into here, we load font. There it is, the Maya. We can open that. It imports it changes everything to the right font. We can save that. Now what we want to do is we want to look and make sure that everything is centered. See this 7 here? That's kind of wonky. The problem is that each font isn't necessarily aligned within the square. So they have different indexing for the letters because they intend for that 7 to be next to another letter. And for it to look right, it might be pushed to either side. So we can change that pretty easily. In the corner on the right side, there are offsets. What we want to do is we want to move the 7 down, and that's going to be the Y. So, that's moving up. That's moving down. We just want to get that looking right. And we can keep doing that. We're going to look through, you know, the 9 and the 6 can probably come down a little bit and over a little bit. Same thing with the 6. These, you know, have the period in there, so they're going to be a little bit off center because of that. We want the number to be center and the period can be off to the side. We just want to look through everything. That's looking pretty good. Now let's say we want to change the 20. It's pretty boring to have a 20 there. We want to put a image there. So let's go to Canva, and I've created a blank canvas that's 2000 by 2000 pixels. It can probably be smaller than that, but I also found this cool pentagram logo, which is what I want for this particular design. We're making kind of an evil metal dice design. I'm just gonna download this as a PNG. Now, if you haven't played with Canva yet, it is a really good resource. I tend to open it before I open Photoshop nowadays. As somebody who's been using Photoshop since I was a little kid, I mean, honestly, since the 90s, Canva is just way better at a lot of the things than Photoshop is, especially for the average person. I think it's going to be a lot better. And they have all these really cool, they have this huge library of icons, images, and you can just search them really easily. You know, let's say I wanted a shield logo. There's a ton of different options. Now, whatever we create the image, we need to make sure that it's a black and white image only. So we want whatever that's going to be pushed down is going to be black, and then everything that's flat is going to be white. It's kind of doing the same thing that we were doing in Blender in my other video. So now that I have that downloaded, I can go back into here, and either you can go up into Face Templates and you can click on the 20 and you can load an image there. But what will happen is when we go to create a percentile dice, you know, a 10 to 100, it's going to use the pentagram logo that we inserted as the 20 instead of the 20. So we want to leave the 20 like that for when we do other dice. The same will go with the 6. A lot of times we want to put a custom image on the 6 of the D6. And what we're going to do is we're just going to select on it here. And then we're going to go over here on the right side, and right next to where you see the 20, there's a little button there that says load image. And so we can load our image. And we say, okay, that looks good. And there it is. Now, if we need to move it around, which I think we do, I think we want to scale it up a little bit. And then we might want to scoot it up there. There we are. So now we've made our completely metal D20. Let's make the whole rest of the set of dice. We go back over here and we add, and let's add a D4. And you see it's using the same font that we already had. Let's add, I like the D4 teardrop. You know, that's my favorite. But we can see that maybe we want to change the positioning of all these. So let's see here. The Y offset, I think, is going to be 15. I'm just going to remember what it is for each one of these and type it in, 15. Now that we've done that, maybe we want to add a design to here. So these blank faces, all we can add a design to them. And let's find something that might match our heavy metal theme. All right, so I found this this cool. It's reminiscent of like a Celtic knot. It's more the Art Nouveau style. But we'll go ahead and download that. All right, let's go to here and we'll load an image. Load that. Now we're going to have to tell it how to place it. And then over here, we need to stretch it up. So over here, we're going to unclick the link and we're going to just kind of stretch it into place. Oh, okay. All right. So it does end up remembering when you import an image. It does remember how it was sized on the other faces. So it's just going to load it in like that. It's pretty nifty. All right, and that's we said 15 for each of these. All right, so here is our teardrop D4 with the custom end on the top there. Pretty sweet. Let's add our D6 now. We gotta fix that one. Actually, we kind of gotta fix a little, everything is a little bit high there. Looks like 7.7 is where the things tend to look right. And then here, we're gonna load image. We're gonna load our move that down a little bit and then scale it up. And we got our pentagram and all the numbers. Sweet. Next one up is the D8. I think these are all too high up, so let's move each one of these down a little bit. So what we can do is if we need to move all the faces down, we're going to go to offset Y and we're going to move that down till that looks right. And we're going to hit this button down here that says copy parameters to each face. And that moved all the faces down. Now one of them, it did not quite work right like we want to. We want to raise the 4 up just a little bit. It has like a deeper shape, so that's looking good there. D8, D10, and then I think these all need to be moved down a hair, which is the Y. And let's copy parameters to all the faces, okay? Let's move these over. So it's better to make the big changes on all the faces first and then go back to adjusting the individual ones. So there's the D10, add. I like to do the D100. Take a look at this. That looks pretty good right off the bat. D12. I think all these can come down just a little bit. So we're going to adjust the Y down. We're going to copy parameters to each face. And let's do the individual adjustments. We're going to adjust the 6. I suspect that the 9 will need to be adjusted. That looks really good. And I think that should do it. I don't think we need to do any other ones. We can if we want to. There are other options. For instance, the rhombic D12, which is just really ugly. we might want to do a D2. That's a pretty boring D2. That is the biggest downfall of this software is we can't do some of our custom shapes, but we can certainly take these same fonts and apply them to custom shapes so that they look exactly the same in Blender. So let's say we wanted to add like a custom D2 that was more curvy. We could do that in Blender and it would match these just fine. So now that we've done them, all we need to do is we can go to export, and it asks you which one you want to export out of all the ones. We'll save it as an STL and you can export it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you learned some things. I hope you guys go out and try making your own custom dice designs. I think the next step is to learn how to 3D print and get them ready for 3D printing. And maybe that will be the next video. If you guys think that that's something that you want to learn, leave a comment below. I hope you dudes and dudettes and duderinos all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.